every day, just do one thing. And sometimes, you know what I think to myself, I'm like, I don't even know which video that I did that actually caught the eyes of the guy from the production.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a video that I was like, I don't want to do it. I might not even going to post it. And finally, I posted it, and
Yeah.
that's the one video that with the algorithm and whatever that actually caught his eyes. But I don't even know which one it is.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the definition of just keep doing it, and you never know what one video could do to your life.
Hmm.
Right out, or one podcast, or one photo that you're going to post, or one quote that you're going to post. Just keep posting and keep believing the dream that you have. When you first started, you were all motivated, but motivation is not enough. You need consistency.
Hello, and welcome back to the Very Real Estate Effect podcast, a show dedicated to real estate investing right here in Quebec. And today I'm very honored to have a guest from Quebec. We have quite a celebrity today. We have Mactar Mbaye. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Look, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been wanting to get you on the show for a little while. And you are, for those who don't know you, maybe they've been living under a rock. You are a real estate investor. You are also a TV host. You have a your brokerage license. You do some flips. You do a whole bunch of things, and you're also doing quite well on social media. And you're known as le Mac de l'immobilier. Is that right?
It's everything is right. Everything is
Ah,
right.
yeah, I did some good research. All right. Well, I'm very happy to have you on today. We're going to dive in a little bit more in your story, your experience. How did you get started? What did it take for you to get where you're at today? And
Mhm.
before we do that, I just want to remind everyone, thank you for your support week after week. It's really appreciated. Please leave us a comment, send me some feedback, leave us a rating on iTunes or Spotify. It really helps us reach more people who could benefit from this conversation. So there you go. And also, as I said in last week's episode, I'm currently planning a lot of the fall. And if you have guests you'd like to hear about, send me a name, send me their contact, or if there's topics in particular where you're interested in, let me know. I'll find someone to talk about this topic. So there you go.
I have someone for you.
You
You should,
do?
of course, my two brothers. You should talk with them.
There you go. Okay, so let's talk about that after. That's a great idea.
There you go.
Perfect. So, Mactar, as usual, my first question: how in the world did you get started in real estate investing?
Honestly, that's crazy. It's just that real estate was a passion of mine since I was a little kid, right? So how it all happened is that my parents bought the house in Laval, and they decided to renovate the basement because obviously we're a big family because we're nine, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we are a big family, and we needed to have more rooms, right? But at the same time, my father decided to do a living room and all of that. So I was every time the contractor was coming to do the renovation, I was sitting in the stairs and watching them, and I was like, "Wow, this is something that I really want to do one day." Okay,
Hmm.
so that's how it all started when I was a kid, and then I just kept like moving into real estate. I studying and I actually went to college in construction estimating.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah,
that's useful.
yeah, and then after that, I went to university as an engineer, and so I was always in real estate and everything. But the thing is, what was more special for me was when I saw my first flip show on TV. I
Okay.
think it was Flip or Flop, and then I was like, wow, that's super cool. I really want to do that, right? And then that's why 6 years ago I started to do real estate flips, and since then that's what I'm doing.
And then you've never looked back. So how long ago did you really start? Like you said, like you took the course on construction estimation and then school for in engineering and so on. So roughly how long ago was that? And then did you start right away in flips?
No, basically, I started at 22 years old. So 8 years ago, because now I'm 3 years old, I bought my first house, and I decided to renovate the basement, and I decided to add some rooms because my friends needed somewhere to live. So I decided to do some rooms inside the house, so they were living with me. But at the same time, for me, it was an investment because I was not paying to live in the house. So that's how I really started. And at the same time, we actually renovated the house. So I had like some experience in renovation. I had some experience in real estate investing, and then 3 years after I started the flipping business, and yeah, and after that, that's how it all started. And I started to do some videos, make sure that people can see the process of what
Yeah.
I'm doing, and that's how people started to really like it. They were like, "Oh shit, this guy like he shares everything. Is really like um, able to explain it to us in a way that real estate is kind of cool."
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay, and that's how I saw you for the first time on social media. I think it was on Instagram, and exactly you were showing like walking through the process of some of the renovations and some of the flips that you do. But before we go into that, like I'm gonna say it outright. Like I'm more of a long term hold. Is this I find a flip is a lot of work for. I don't want to say a small margin. You can make a very good margin. Depends on the market that you're in, the type of asset class, and so on. But like, would you not want to build a portfolio of rentals as well? Because flips is
Mhm.
great, but the day you stop, cash stops coming in.
But that's a grerait question because the thing is, I started with flips, but I do own like 17 properties because I
Okay.
do own condos and multiplex. But the thing is, when I started, I had zero money, right?
Hmm.
And if you want to invest into rentable units and all that, you need a kind of a big down payment. So that's how I actually built my down payment with doing some flips. And then after that, I started to buy with my brothers or with some partners. And then that's how we all started. But I think if you want to invest in that, depending on how much money you have, because when I started, I had zero money, literally.
Yeah.
I started with flips, and then I started to buy some condos, buy some multiplex, and then a cottage, and yeah. But I think you should start with flip and then diversify into rentable units.
Yeah, I know. And it makes sense. And it's a technique that's quite known to do a few flips to accumulate a little bit of capital to have enough
Yeah,
money for a down payment and start buying
yeah.
some slightly bigger buildings as rentals. So over time, you've developed quite the expertise in flips. Can you kind of walk us through, like, okay, first of all, like, how do you find your deals, and what are the selection criterias for you to say, oh, this one is good, this one I want to take it and I want to flip it? How do you decide?
But when I started, obviously, like the first thing was to find something that it was not too much work, right? Something that there's no structural problems, something that there's no like electricity problem, plumbing problems. It was only something that I know that I could just do like a refresh and
Yeah.
then put it back on the market. That was, because I was just getting started, right? So something that I could just, example, change the kitchen, change the bathroom, change the floors, and do some painting, and then put it back on the market. That was my objective. And
Okay.
how do I find those deals? There's, everybody knows that we have here in Quebec a régisse foncier, right?
Yeah.
So the régisse foncier is like how can I explain? Do you know car proof? Do you know what's car proof? You
Car
know, it's
proof for car
yeah.
assessments.
Exactly. So as
Yeah.
soon as you buy a car, you can have like a report called car
Yeah.
proof. So
With the VIN
basically, you
number.
have everything. Exactly, you have everything about
Hmm.
the car since the car was built
Yeah.
or went out of the manufacturing. So I think the registre foncier is exactly the same thing, but for houses here,
Yeah.
right? We have everything. Every time someone buys a house, every time someone sell a house, and everything. So and then because of that, there's some people that did some website like Mon Prospecteur or
Yep.
JLM. So that's how I actually found my first deal. I was on Mon Prospecteur, and I was looking, and then I found my first deal, and then my second deal. Someone called me. So I think you should just, when you start to be a real estate investor, you just need to tell it to everyone, right?
Yes.
Everyone needs to know about it
Yeah.
because
So they
at
can
first,
help you.
exactly. My first
Yeah.
deal, I found it on Mon Prospecteur, but after that, every time it was some people were calling me like, I know
Yeah.
you're a real estate investor, I have a deal for you,
Yeah.
and all that. So yeah, that's how I found my deal. But the most important thing I think is you should tell it to everyone that you're a real estate investor and that you are, example, a house flipper. So every time they're going to see a rundown property, they're going to think about you.
Yeah. See, I love that you say that, because it's something that we've discussed here quite a few times. And like, tell everybody what you're doing, tell
Right.
everybody what you're looking for. And I always tell people, and, I joke here at the DEP, because, she talks to everyone in the neighborhood, and I'm like, hey, and incentivize. And I always told her, like, if you refer me a property or someone stuff and I end up buying, I'll give you $1,000. And, looks at you
Exactly.
like, wow, this is great. Just for me to give you the phone number. It's like, yeah, just because you gave me the phone number and a good lead, I'll give
Yeah,
you $1,000.
that's easy money. That's easy money.
Yeah, it's so easy. And if that's your cost of acquisition to get that lead, it's nothing. It's worth it anytime.
Exactly.
And then the second thing you mentioned is le registre foncier. Le registre foncier, it's amazing how many people don't know about it and don't use it regularly. For everyone who isn't aware, it is the database where every notary publishes their documents about
Exactly.
every property, and you can search by address, by lot number, by date that it was published, and so on and so forth. And as Mactar said, like, all you need to do is put in an address or a lot number, and it'll give you the entire history of the property, including the prices, the name of the people who bought and sold, so on and so forth. So there's a wealth of information over there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so you find those deals all off market, as you said.
Yeah.
Now, before you were more looking for cosmetic flips, which I totally understand you, because you don't necessarily want to get into big renovation jobs.
At
Is
first.
is it still the case now?
Oh hell no, it's not the case anymore. Because now I'm doing like all type of properties. Some property that I have to renovate, with structural problems, like big. How can I say that? Everybody needs to know that I'm a French guy first, right?
Yes,
So
that's fine. Say it in French.
I'm how do we say, des grosses fissures, right?
The big cracks in the foundations.
Exactly. I'm renovating property with big cracks. I'm renovating property with a lot of mold problems. Now I'm able to do all type of flips, but the one that I prefer is the one that I'm doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Even like 6 months ago, the market was crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, you could just find a property, wait 2 months, and then just sell it back as is.
Yeah, and make a
Those were the
profit.
best. Yeah, I did a ton of project like that last year, but now it's not possible anymore because the market has changed. But those were my the one that I preferred by far, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm able to do some big flips, and even now I'm building from scratch a new five apartment building.
Okay.
So now I'm in a lot of different um, different
Different.
construction projects.
Yeah, different types of projects. Okay,
Yeah,
and so just to understand a little bit more, so on the on the flip side, do you have a dedicated crew that you move from project to project, or do you hire a contractor? Like, how does the execution part happen?
that's really important. That's a really good question. Honestly, first of all, for those who doesn't know that, is that when you're flipping a house here in Quebec, you need your partner to have at least 50% of the business to have a licensed RBQ, right? If you don't have that, you're technically not allowed to flip a house. So that's what I have. I have partners with RBQ, and that's how we're rolling. I'm not hiring a contractor. The contractor is my partner.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, that eases a lot of things too. And I guess
Right.
it's him who makes a lot of the decisions of what kind of material, what kind of tile, what kind of all that. You've done enough projects together?
It's depend because me, I'm the one finding the deal, I'm the one negotiating the deal. And as you know, I'm a realtor too, so I'm the one after that selling the deal. But when we're in the construction, he's the one in charge. The design, I'm like, I kind of know like what's popping now because I'm in the market every day.
Yeah.
So that's how we share our responsibility, and I think it's a very good partnership.
Yeah, a good structure and partnership. Well, with what you've described, it seems like it allows each one of you to focus on what you're good at.
Exact, exact. And honestly, to partner up with someone, I'm going to say it now: two people max. I
Yeah.
think when you're flipping a house, you need to have you that finds the deal and whatever negotiated, and then you have the contractor, and that's it. Because you don't need someone else. Because if you're three in a business, it doesn't work. Me personally, I think it's two maximum, and that's how I roll now, and that's how I think it should be with anyone in a
Yeah.
business relationship.
Yeah. I agree. But then does that mean that you have all of your flips are with the same contractor, or do you have different partnerships?
I actually have two partners. Like I started with one contractor for a long time, and we're still partners. And then after that, I had like another partner because the other one was like quite busy because he still had his own company to roll and everything. So I had like another partner with his license, and that's it. But there's two different company, and there's and we're only two on each
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. And those two circles don't
So yeah,
intersect.
so I have different partners. Yeah.
No. Okay. Now, on those flips, how do you fund them? Because you have to buy the property, and you can only start the work once you're on title and you actually own it, and then you need to finance the renovation. So how do you structure that?
So first of all, when we started with my first partner to do house flipping, uh, like what we had, like the criteria that we had is that look, when we're gonna start, we're gonna not touch the profit for X amount of years. So basically, now all the property that I'm flipping, it's with my own money. But knowing that we have a lot of capital to do that, sometime if we, example, want to do three, four project at the same, 2 to 3, 4 at the project at the same time, we can use like a private lender,
Yeah.
private lender. So that's what we're doing, right?
Mhm.
So first of all, it was he brought the first 70,000 that we needed to flip. Me, I just did a PowerPoint explaining to him like, look, this is what we're going to do, all right. And to do that, we need at least 70,000. But this was like 5, 6 years ago. Now I don't think it's possible with 70,000, right?
It's a
But at
small
the time,
budget.
yeah, it's a small budget. But at the time, my first flip was a house that I found for 200,000, and then we actually just put. I think we invested like 30 or 40,000 in it, and then we sold it back for like example 300,000, and we made like 35,000. We were like, oh, what the? Fuck? We just made thirty five
So
thousand
happy. Yeah,
in
yeah.
2 months. It was crazy. But I would $70,000 was enough because we actually put it like 40,000 down because it's 20%, and then we use a virtual bank to do
Mhm.
that one. And then after that, there was more high interest, but whatever.
Yeah,
We used that, and then we sold it. So with that 70,000, we actually made 35,000, and then we kept going just like
yeah.
that, up, and then now we have like a good amount to make sure that we could do 2 or 3 projects at the same time.
And so you said like now we self finance basically because we've been able to roll it forward enough times. How many deals or how many years did it take for you to accumulate enough capital to then be self sufficient? Because it takes a fair amount. Now, if you're buying a let's say a 400 and even a $400,000 house, there aren't that many of them in the Montreal area. Let's be
Not
honest.
anymore.
And then you need, so you're not going to buy it cash, you're going to finance some of it, but then you need to finance the renovation. You always need about a half a million to be rolling forward.
Honestly, I think it took us three years. I could say that it's been 2 years now that we have like love like enough money to roll like with 2 to 3 projects at the same time, but with using a private lender. But it took us 3 years of flipping houses without even touching the profit.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how long it took us. But if you think about it, it's not that long. It's 3 years, and at the time I was still working. Because me personally, I think you should not. If you want to start in flipping houses, you should not quit your job right away and
No.
then because you're gonna need your profit to reinvest. And but if you use your profit to
To
live,
live. Yeah.
bro. It means
Yeah.
that every time you're flipping a house, that you're flipping to live. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's the smart idea to do
No.
that. So yeah.
And
So
and if people choose to do it like that, then they're not starting a business. They just build themselves a job.
it, I love what you just said. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
that's not what we want to do. Okay,
Exactly.
so that's how you finance them, and then just to get an idea of the volume of business you've done, like since the beginning, how many flips have you done, like full cycle, bought, renovated, and resold?
A bit more than 20. A bit more
Okay,
than 20. And yeah, a bit more than 20.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And see, like my style is different. I do some rental, I do some long-term hold. We obviously renovate places. We try to buy them as distressed as possible, give them the maximum amount of love, and then go refi. Is just that sometimes when I see the amount of work it is, I'm like, oh man, I could not just resell it now.
Yeah, yeah, but it's I think sometimes it's part of the business, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the business. So yeah.
Or like, or even if I say, okay, it'll be a flip, I'm like, okay, it'll be a flip, which means that I'll only keep it for 3 years and then I'll resell it.
Okay, so your flip is 3 years. Me
No, no,
sometimes.
no. Sorry, I misexpressed myself. I would not. Actually, I shouldn't say I would not. How would I know? It's just that I've never like resold right away. So let's say a six
Okay.
months turnaround. So I think I would say, okay, let's keep it for 2-3 years. Let's rent it and then
Yeah,
let's sell it.
because it's possible. Sometimes some people their flip are alive for 6 months, and sometimes people are their flip are alive for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
It's still a flip, right?
Mhm.
Because you made like a significant amount of money in a short term, right? So
Yeah.
2 to 3 years is not that, not that.
No, that's true. It's just that for me, like my definition of the flip, it's kind of like what you said, like 3 to 6 months, maybe 9 months turnaround, depending on the size of the project and the amount of renovation. But it's really like
Mhm.
purchase, optimize, and resell, mostly on single family homes. So
Okay. Okay.
but okay, because then you've been doing these flips, and then you've also developed quite a social media presence and now a TV show. How in the
Yeah,
world did that happen?
bro, that was even for me. I was like, what the hell? So basically, I started all those videos because of I was seeing flipping show on AGTV, on DIY Network, all those English channel, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I started to do that, when I bought my first house or whatever, I was not really speaking English. I was
Mhm.
like, I was okay, but I was not really speaking English. And I was watching those show, and I was like, God dang, one day I would love to be in that show. But for me, it was almost impossible
Yeah.
because, first of all, I'm in Quebec. I don't really speak English, and it was on TV, right? So there's like a really small amount of people that are able to make it to TV. So for me, it was almost impossible. But that's why I started to do my own YouTube channel, and I started to do my own videos. So for me, it was like I'm doing my like kind of own show on YouTube, and people were liking it. So for me, it was nice. And what's crazy is that by doing that, that's what actually brought me to TV.
Mhm.
Because one day I was in a visit. I was waiting for my customer, my client to come to visit a house, and then I decided to go on my Instagram and just sometime on Instagram you have your proper page where you have all your message, and then there's like a back page when sometimes you don't even see the message. And I have a lot of message over there because I'm not able to see it. And that day I just decided to go there and like, you know what, let me see like what type of message I'm getting. And like I had a message from someone said, oh hey, I'm writing from AGTV Canada, and I came across your YouTube channel and want to know if you like, do you speak English and so I was like, what the hell? AGTV Canada? I'm like, what the hell? So actually,
Oh.
yeah, so I was like, oh, it is a scam or something like that. So finally, it was real. Like it was someone real. And they told me that they found my Instagram. They were not able to understand exactly what I was saying, but they actually liked my energy.
Yeah.
Like on YouTube, they like my energy and all of that. So they said we have that project that I think you're going to be a good fit with it and everything. So I was like, oh yeah, of course. And then everything after that went so fast because we had like one interview, like a Zoom interview with production. And then after that was I was able to talk and bring my brothers in. And right after that, like a month after, we were at the house with all of the cameras on us, and we were like, all right, so we're really doing it. Like we're
Yeah.
shooting a show. So everything went so fast, everything happened so fast, but it was just a dream of mine becoming true. Like I can't even put words on that. It was for me, it was my ultimate dream.
Yeah.
That's what I really wanted to do in my life.
Hmm.
And just for it to happen, and the fact that I'm in Quebec, I don't really like. I was not able to speak properly. I have an accent, right? Even like because now we're streaming on. It was actually streaming on Canada, but now we're streaming in the US on Hulu, and that's a huge deal that they
Yeah.
actually made. So now we're streaming in Hulu. So there's a lot of American people who started following me and said like, "Oh my God, we love your accent. You and your family, you're so funny and all of that." So
It gives you
everything is
even more character. It's perfect.
exactly. That's crazy because I
Yeah.
don't even know if people realize the fact that usually HGTV Canada, it's in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So basically it's in Canada, so you're like streaming all over Canada. But now the fact that it's actually streaming in the US, that's a huge like market.
Yeah.
So everything is just was the right timing
Hmm.
for us to be on the TV show, for us to be after that on Hulu and all of that. So in life it's crazy because when you have a dream and then you just put it out there and into the world or whatever, you never know how it could just come back to you, but in a big way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But the thing is that you've said like, oh, this was my dream and my objective. I was dreaming this would happen, and I'm sure there's some people out there who'd say like, oh yeah, but look at Mactar, he had it easy and stuff, and
no,
nothing comes easy. And this didn't come out of the blue, and that person only reached out to you on Instagram because you put like hundreds of pieces of content where you
exactly.
shared your good energy, your knowledge, and stuff like that. So I don't believe in chance anymore. Chance is like maybe 5% of it. The rest is your hard work, it's your perseverance, it's the energy, it's the character, it's everything. And so
Yeah, and
félicitations and good for you, man, because you didn't steal this from anyone. You made it happen.
exactly. And the thing is, when I was doing that, like posting some videos and sharing some knowledge, it was not in the intention to be on TV. That was not
Yeah.
even in my mind. It was just I was just doing it because I love to do it.
Yeah.
Real honestly, I just love to do that.
Mhm.
So when you find a passion, you you don't even realize how much work you're putting it into. And so that's what I was saying. If like don't do because sometimes people are telling me, "Oh, I want to do real estate because I want to make money." Don't
No.
do things because of the money. Just do things because you're passionate about it, right?
Mhm.
So that's a message that I really want to share because if you do it for the money, you're not gonna last,
No, you're
bro.
gonna get
It's
bored.
doing flips. First of all, is stressful. It's a lot of money and everything, and after that, putting content on the social media, it's hard as hell too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you need time to create your video, you need time to edit your video, and you need time to post it. So
Yeah.
if you don't love it, you're not gonna make it. Like
Mhm.
that's it. You
Yeah.
need to be passionate about it.
No, you're absolutely right. It actually takes hard work, and the putting content out there is funny you say that because that's something I can relate to doing the podcast now for a little while. It's not easy, and sometimes, and I don't know if you go through the same, but I share some projects that I'm working in. I share some of the numbers, I share where we're at and some of the difficulty, and sometimes I'm like, well, one, there's the massive imposter syndrome. I'm like, who am I to do this? And two is like, who no one cares about this stuff. Why would I even take the time or the energy to share it? Because no one cares. But I keep reminding myself of the ultimate goal. And for me, it's to help as many people to start investing in real estate because
And
it
you,
made a
and you know what's
huge difference for us. And I want to be able to help as many people out there.
and you know what's crazy with what you're saying is that sometimes people are actually see what we're posting, people see what we're doing, but and they just don't react with it. Like they don't like, they don't share, they don't do anything. But at the same time, they're listening to everything, and we're basically helping them without knowing that we're actually helping them. So
Yeah.
that's why, even if, example, sometimes we don't have the reach that we want, we don't have the views that we want, or whatever, people are still watching it and people are still looking at it. It's just
Mhm.
sometimes there's people that are shy. I don't want to like be like, oh, like acting like a fan or whatever, but we're helping way more people than what our stats says.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
that's that's 100% sure,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes people are like, "Oh, I saw your stuff. You're helping me a lot," and then when I go and look back, they never liked anything. They never comment on anything, but they're telling me, "Oh, you're helping me to do this and do that." So
Yeah.
that's when I realized that we're helping a lot more people than we think. So that's what we should just keep doing it. That's
Mhm.
it.
And the thing too, and I guess it must have been like that for in your case as well, is that it takes a lot longer than we think to roll the ball forward. And we think like, oh, you put 3 videos out there on YouTube and boom. No, it takes years and hundreds of videos. And then eventually it starts to build up.
Exactly, exactly. Honestly, it's consistency.
Yeah.
People don't. Sometimes people don't like to hear that, but it's all about consistency and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. It's just it's every day. Just do one thing. And sometimes, you know what I think to myself, I'm like, I don't even know which video that I did that actually cut the eyes of the guy from the production. Maybe
Yeah.
it was a video that I was like, I don't want to do it. I might not even going to post it. And finally, I posted it, and
Yeah.
that's the one video that with the algorithm and whatever that actually caught his eyes. But I don't even know which one it is.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the definition of just keep doing it, and you never know what one video could do to your life.
Mhm.
Straight up, or one podcast, or one photo that you're going to post, or one quote that you're going to post. Just keep posting and keep believing the dream that you have. When you first started, you were all motivated, but motivation is not enough. You need consistency. Just say to yourself, you know what? Let me do this for a year, even if you don't have the result that you want. Let me just do this for a year, and I can tell you one thing: your life is about to change. Because if you do this for a year, a lot of people are going to notice you and
Yeah.
everything, and then it's finally going to pay off.
Exactly. And this is just the content side. Like it's important not to forget that, I don't know how it is for you, maybe it's different, but I make money doing real estate deals, not posting videos on YouTube. Putting videos
I
on
was
YouTube
paying
costs
to
me.
do
That
it.
costs. It's an
There you go.
investment.
I was
But
paying to do
yeah,
videos.
but you actually make money by making deals. And so to keep going on the deal pipeline, and it's just, I guess where we're lucky is that we do what we like, i.e. real estate deals, and we get to document and share it with other people and share the adventure. And often I remind myself that that's the
That's the
way it's
dream.
supposed to be.
That's the dream. That's the
Mhm.
dream.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
As we're getting towards the end there, knowing how much experience you have in flips, and I'd like to like try to stick to that category. What would be like 3 or 5 pieces of advice you would share with others when it comes to starting with a flip or two?
To start into the flipping business,
Yeah.
I would say first of all, you need to be passionate. Like real estate needs to be a passion, because if
Yeah.
it's not a passion, honestly, you're not gonna last in that business. Second of all, you need to have the right team around you. Like that's so important,
Mhm.
because, like I said, flipping a house it's stressful, and if you don't have the right partner beside you to help you out and make sure that you guys are moving forward, you need to have someone that is positive and that actually find solution instead of always complaining, right? So you need to have the right partners around you, the right team, and beside your partner directly, you need to have like a good notary. You need to have a good inspector. You need to have a good lawyer. You need to
Yeah.
have like a good team around you. So that's very, very, very important. And the last thing I would say is um, educate yourself before getting into that. Educate yourself. Make sure that you take some course. You go and find some. You can reach out to people that does that. You can even reach out to me. They can reach out to you. Like reach out to people to make sure. Like before doing that, I just want to make sure that I have the basic information,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes people think that, oh, I'm just going to buy a house and wait. And you see now, if someone want to do that, the market is different. So you're going to get stuck with your house, which is not a bad thing because, having real estate is never a bad thing, but you're going to be stuck with your house. And if this is all the money that you have, that you actually put it there, and then you need to get it back quick, it's going to be difficult, right? So make sure to educate yourself and make sure that you understand the game before doing it. And this is not, I don't mean like to wait like a lot of time. Just have the basic information and then you can get started. All right.
Yeah.
So this would have been this is the 3 advice that I would give
Yeah, I
to
know.
someone who really start.
I'm so glad you said that, and especially like building a good team around you and educating yourself. I think is the most important thing, and I find that's a good gauge to see how serious are people when they want to go buy a $500,000 building, but they won't spend 5,000 on themselves on education. And yeah, so that's the first thing. Like go spend 5K, 10K, like taking some courses, learning how to do it. Tag along with people who've done it before, and they'll tell you all the mistakes you should make. You'll still make half of them, but that's okay. They'll cost you less.
Exactly. But at the same time, you're going on your own pace. You're going to make mistake, of course, because nobody is at the same path. But take the time to educate yourself. There's some little mistake that you did that you could avoid because someone already did it before you.
Mactar, we're getting towards the end there. Thank you so much. Where can people find out more about you?
They can find out on Instagram. Most of my content now is on the Instagram, but at the same time, they can even watch the show on AGTV Canada. They can watch it on Stack TV and on Hulu now. So
what's the show called?
Hoarder House Flippers.
Hoarder House Flippers. Okay, perfect. So
that's a really special show. So basically, because we know that there's a lot of fan of hoarding show, and at the same time, there's a lot of fan of like flipping show. So they mix everything together. So that's a really nice show. So I really recommend you to go watch it, guys.
I'll go check it out. That's good stuff, man. Thank you so much for participating today. As I said, and I'll say it again, even though it's going to be outdated fairly quickly, on September 13th, we're going to be having a meetup in the Old Port, Marché des Éclusiers. Everyone is welcome. If you're listening to this, I hope to see you there. And in the meantime, go research your market, go make some offers, and go contact Mactar if you have any questions.
All right. Hey, thank you so much. And everyone, trust the process.
That's true. Trust the process. Good way to finish. All right. Thank you very much, and go make some offers. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.